Hello BookTube, Sarah here and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm coming to you with my July 2017 pre-orders. So if you are new to my channel, this is a feature that I do every month, and in it I tell you guys about all the books that I put on pre-order with the Kindle that are coming out in the next month. So I've got a bunch of books here, so let's jump right in and get started. So the first book I'm going to talk about comes out on the 11th of July, and it is Secrets of the Tulip Sisters by Susan Mallery. This is a standalone novel, and essentially the story is about two sisters who never really got along as kids, and now as adults they're keeping even more secrets from each other, which is kind of widening their whole relationship, like they're really not any better at getting along, essentially. And they have both always been in love with these two brothers from the same town, and I guess they come back to town and secrets are revealed and all kinds of things. It does sound really interesting, and like I said, a standalone novel, so that's always nice. But, you know, really, Susan Mallery is such a wonderful writer that her stuff is pretty much, if she's got a new book coming out, I'm going to be picking it up. The next book is called Bad Boys After Dark, Carson. This is by Melissa Foster. This comes out on the 12th of July, and it is the third book in the Bad Boys After Dark series. Melissa Foster is a very prolific writer. She writes so many books, and all of them are pretty much under the same series. She does this huge series called Love and Bloom, and then there's like standalone series within the overall series. And if you go on her website, there's actually like a reader's guide on which books to read. So I've slowly been collecting these so I can finally start reading them. And this one is, it sounds like it's going to be more of an erotic novel. It's about a couple who used to be together about 10 years ago, and he's now a millionaire or billionaire or something like that, security kind of person, and she is a perfumer working in Paris. And I guess that he shows up at her place unannounced, you know, after 10 years all of a sudden, and trying to restart the relationship, and it goes from there. So it does sound really good. I really do like her writing, and I'm looking forward to this book. Coming out on the 18th of July is Lucky Charmed by Charlene Lovelace. This is the second book in the Charmed in Texas series, and I will be honest, this was completely a cover buy for me. That cover is just so adorable. It's about a woman who lives in a small town, and they're known for their honeybees and making honey. And I guess there's a local honey festival. And during this festival, a carnival is brought to town for the local kids, I guess. And one of the guys who works for the carnival, he builds sets and things like that. He decides that he's done with this kind of nomadic lifestyle of moving from place to place with the carnival, that he decides he's going to stay in town and put down roots. Well, she wants to leave town because it's stifling to her. You know, small town, she wants to get out to the big city, whereas he wants to stay. So the relationship goes from there. It should be really cute, but I will definitely have to go and pick up the first book in the series to read first, but I will be glad to have this one on my TBR. Also coming out on the 18th of July is Indigo Lake by Jodi. This is book number 6 in the Ransom Canyon series. Again, 6th book in a series. I haven't read any of the series yet, but I've been slowly collecting them. And this sounds like a Romeo and Juliet, or Hatfields and McCoy type story, if you will. Two families who dislike each other, and then the two kids, or not, I shouldn't say kids, the two of the younger generation end up falling in love and going from there. I think she's the good girl, he's the bad boy who rides the Harley, and what have you. So this one should be really cute too. Jodi is a great writer. And again, this is book 6 in a series, so you know I had to pick it up. Also coming out on the 18th of July is The Strawberry Hearts Diner by Carolyn Brown. This was another auto-buy for me because Carolyn Brown is a wonderful, wonderful writer. This is a standalone novel, and it's about a woman who, I guess, for reasons that you don't find out until you read the book, she is heading off to go live with her cousin in Louisiana, and partway through Texas, her car breaks down, and she ends up stranded in this tiny, tiny little town, and she sees a help wanted sign in a diner and goes and applies for the job, and I guess the romance goes from there. It is a contemporary romance. It looks super adorable, and it looks like a great summer read, so I am very much looking forward to this book. The final book coming out on July 18th is Kiss My Boots by Harper Sloan. This is the second book in the Coming Home series. I'll be honest with this one too. It was the cover that drew me in, and the title. I mean, come on, that's fantastic. This is another kind of coming home type story. Obviously, that's what the series is called. But it is about a woman who lives in a small town, and the guy comes back to town. He used to spend his summers there at his grandparents' place, and decides to come back to, you know, where all of his childhood memories, all of his good childhood memories took place. and put down roots, and he remembers Tate, I believe is the lead female character's name. He remembers her, and, you know, the two of them start up a relationship again, but she can't stand him. So, an enemies to lovers type story, great contemporary romance, and, I mean, you cannot beat that title. It's just adorable. Coming out on July 19th is Hearts at Seaside by Addison Cole. This is the third book in the Sweet with Heat Seaside Summer series. Now, I mentioned Melissa Foster a little bit earlier in this video with her Bad Boys erotic type novel. This is the same author. Addison Cole, of course, is her pseudonym. And I saw these and I'm like, these look adorable. Like the cover when I saw it, I'm like, oh my gosh, it looks so summery and adorable. Then I started reading it and I'm like, wait a minute. And then I realized what these are. They are the 4 books. I think it's only going to be a series of 4. I don't know if she's writing any more. But they are her Seaside Summer series, which she put out for that Love and Bloom series that I was talking about earlier. But these have been rewritten, taking out all the swearing and all the sexual content. So these are very clean contemporary romance stories. But if you have read those ones, don't recommend picking these ones up. Now, the first book in this series, which is called Read, Write, Love, comes out today on the 14th of June. And it's free for the Kindle. So if you're interested to check it out, please do so. Like I said, it's essentially the exact same story, but taking out all the swearing and all the adult situations, if you will. This series, for those of you who might be unfamiliar with it, is it's a mini-series within the Love and Bloom series, of course. And, I mean, these can be read on their own. You don't have to have read the entire Love and Bloom series to get these. These are kind of a standalone series within a series, as I've said. I could do a whole video just on this, the way that she writes these books. It's craziness. But it's pretty much about a group of friends who rent a cottage every summer and kind of like the shenanigans that take place. So, sounds like it should be a lot of fun. These covers are just adorably adorable. Like, you can't get any cuter than these and any more summery. And it's a nice way to dip your toes in the water if you are not necessarily a fan or you're not sure if you're a big fan of contemporary romance. But again, you know, these are very, very clean. Coming out on July 25th is Until You Love Me by Brenda Novak. This is the 3rd book in the Silver Spring series. Another series I haven't actually started reading yet, but I'm collecting them as I go because Brenda Novak is a great writer. And this one is about a woman who catches her boyfriend cheating on her with another man. So she makes a bad decision, and she heads off to a bar and has a one-night stand with some guy. Well, of course, she ends up pregnant. And, you know, the story kind of goes from there. The man in question that she met in the bar is a former pro football player, and, you know, he insists that they raise the child together. So, you know, your typical, it is a lot of typical tropes that are in contemporary romance. But again, Brenda Novak's a great writer. This one should be really, really fun. Also coming out on the 25th of July is Fly Away With Me by Susan Fox. This is the 1st book in the Blue Moon Harbor series. This was another one that was strictly a cover purchase. It is absolutely adorable looking, and it is about a woman who's looking after her ailing mother. And her mother has tasked her with the job of finding her long-lost aunt. So she hires, this takes place in the Pacific Northwest, and she hires this sea pilot to help her, I guess, navigate or find this aunt. And, you know, the romance kind of goes from there. She's sworn off men after a bad breakup. So, yeah, but this one looks like a lot of fun. You know, I really love the cover. I love the premise. And, you know, the Pacific Northwest is a really nice area, so this one should definitely be a lot of fun. And the last book I have to talk about is also coming out on the 25th of July, and that is Dark Rites by Heather Graham. Book number 22 in the Crew of Hunters series. Oh, I can't wait. I didn't really read too much what this is about. I'm trying not to read ahead to what some of these are about because, you know, I'll get to them eventually. But I do know this one takes place in Boston, which, next to Toronto, is like my favorite city ever, and I've only been there once. But I'm a big Red Sox fan, so, hey, it goes with the territory. But yeah, so up to 22 books now in the series. I think, actually, if I, give me a second here, I can check. I'm pretty sure book number 23 is also scheduled to be published. How far is she? Sorry. Book 23. Yes, that comes out this year too. I don't know if there's going to be any more after that. I always check to see, because I just love this series so much. For those of you who might be new to my channel and you're unsure what the Crew of Hunters series is about, it is a paranormal romantic suspense series, and it's about a group of, or several little groups of FBI agents who investigate paranormal activity, much like the X-Files. And I really, really love this series. Heather Graham's a great writer. They always take place in different areas of the U.S. As far as I know so far, it's been in the U.S. I don't know whether they've gone to other countries or not. That would be kind of cool. Crew of Hunters International, maybe. But yeah, so far, really loving the series. And if that's something that sounds interesting to you, definitely check out. Start with book number 1. You know, this is a series you can jump around in. If you just happen to pick up book 18, it's not going to mess anything up for you. You can still enjoy the story just as much as you would any other time. So anyway, guys, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know in the comments below if you've read, or not if you've read any of these books, but if any of these books sound interesting to you, or there's something that you might be putting on your wish list for July, or are there any books that I didn't talk about that you have pre-ordered for the month of July? Because I would love to know that too. And anyway, guys, until my next video, take care and happy reading. Thanks for watching. Bye.